And I'm good at that.
You sure are, James.
Ooh, we're red. We are very red.
Overexposure to this tint effect can and will cause us to continue our game a day crusade through the alphabet. Today our game will begin with V. V.
For
The Virtual Boy. The Virtual Boy is literally a health hazard. Due to its monochrome display and immersive visor that eliminates outside light, you're looking into pure darkness pierced via red LEDs.
Of course, this thing is a scary piece of technology that has probably caused more pain than entertainment, but look at it! This was the future in 1995. People looked at this thing, this stationary virtual reality visor with a controller stapled to it, and said, yes, this is the future. Until 4 years later when this thing was discontinued, games ceased released, and people realized perhaps the future doesn't have to hurt this much.
This thing is a completely solitary gaming experience, even more so than modern VR headsets are, because at least with VR, you can watch someone jerk their body around unnaturally and get a chuckle out of that much. But for a Virtual Boy to work, the user has to remain as completely still and hunched over as possible. In fact, did you know this thing has a port for a link cable for multiplayer? Not only do no games exist that could support multiplayer, but the link cable was never manufactured.
I have had two very different virtual reality experiences in my life. The first was several years ago when I played Robo Recall to earn a pin at a convention. I was constantly tangled in the cable that led from my visor to the computer. My hands were confused because the controllers weren't as stationary as my brain expects controllers to be, and I never got into the controls or mechanics of what was happening. As mind-blowing as the experience was, I don't think gaming is ready for this. I don't think it ever will be. My second experience was with the Virtual Boy, which I found much more gratifying. First and foremost, no cable to twist around my body for a tech person to constantly touch and rotate me to prevent twisting. Second, I don't have to turn my head to see the entire game. It was visible all in one spot. Finally, the controller was a single, cabled object I could hold and feel, and the button and D-pad placement were familiar and easy to get used to. That third thing really pushed this thing over the edge for me. I could understand what I was pressing, what was meant to happen, and how my hands were supposed to react.
The Virtual Boy is so weird to me. Like, how does this thing exist? This is a finished product that could be purchased on store shelves and rented from Blockbuster. To get to that point, it had to go through pitches, conceptual designs, planning meetings, evolve during stages of development, pass through testing, and endure quality control and play testing. And we ended up with nothing more than a peripheral.
That is 100% all the Virtual Boy and virtual reality-based gaming should be. The world may not have been ready for the Virtual Boy in 1995, but if it had the time, the technology, and the evolutions in gaming that we had today, the Virtual Boy could have ended up as something that didn't give people blinding migraines, Nintendo a financial loss the size of one of Saturn's moons, and us a bout of creator's block as to what to say about this thing so strong that I wrote that last part into the script.
Yeah. Well, we only have 2 of the system's games, James. That's 87% of this thing's library right there. And we're still mentioning our creator's block twice.
We better finish this thing before we mention the creator's block a third time. Oh no! Before I panic, what games starting with V do you hold near and dear to your heart? Let us know in the comments and we'll see you soon for W. And now it's time to panic.